2024 has been the year of exposing conspiracy theories, and this is no different. I don't think we would have ever expected the craziness to come out around Diddy. I don't think we would have expected the craziness to come out about all these UFO videos. Mm-hmm. But this, I'll be honest, I definitely was not expecting this. Okay, DOJIG, their Instagram? Wait, what? DOJIG reveals 26 FBI informants were present on January 6th. The FBI only directed 3 confidential human sources to attend the event. So I understand why the FBI would want folks at these public events because they're trying to infiltrate some of these groups and just trying to be on the ground. But they're saying there's 21 people there. Mm. And so that potentially sparking stuff to be more violent, I guess, January 6th, like to stir the flame. I don't know, right? I don't want to get into the minutia of like what is and isn't an insurrection and could Trump have done more to calm the situation down. But this is interesting nonetheless. Okay, so Fox News senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram reports on DOJ Inspector General Michael Horowitz answered to a question about whether there were federal confidential human sources in the January 6th crowd on special report. Justice Department Inspector General. That's what IG stands for, by the way. It's not Instagram. There we go. He thought they dropped it on Instagram. Inspector General Michael said that there were more than 24 confidential human sources in the crowd outside the Capitol on January 6th, but only 3 were assigned by the FBI. Now, are all of these confidential human sources assigned by the FBI, or are these like people they have on payroll? Because that's an important distinction. If you have all these informants and all these people working with the FBI, which I'm sure they do. I'm sure they got folks everywhere. Mm-hmm. And only 6 were supposed to be there. Like, are these paid staff and agents, or are they confidential human sources? Because that's an important distinction to make. Yeah. I think they should explain that. Don't go too far. But only 3 were assigned to be there by the FBI to be present for the event, while stressing that none of the sources was authorized or directed by the Bureau to break the law or encourage others to commit illegal acts. Okay, on Thursday, releases highly anticipated report on the FBI's handling of its confidential human sources and intelligence collection efforts in the lead up of the January 6th electoral certification. Today's report also details our finding regarding FBI CHSs who were in Washington January 6th. Our review determined that none of those FBI CHHs was authorized by the FBI to enter the Capitol or restricted area to otherwise break the law on January 6th, nor was any CHH directed by the FBI to encourage others to commit illegal acts on January 6th. The report revealed that the FBI had a minor supporting role in responding to January 6th, largely because the event was not deemed at the highest security level by the Department of Homeland Security. Interesting. Is there any truth to the idea that they could have called the National Guard, but Nancy Pelosi sent them away? Because like I've heard Trump make that claim before.
That's interesting.
You know, like they could have had more support to mitigate this happening, and then she decided for it not to happen. You know, I don't know. According to the report, there were a total of 26 confidential human sources in the crowd that day, but only 3 of them were assigned by the Bureau to be there. One of the 3 confidential human sources asked by the FBI to attend the rally, enter the Capitol building, while the other 2 entered the restricted area around the Capitol. What?
One of the 3 confidential human sources that was actually sent there by the FBI entered the Capitol building.
Which is a crime. Why are these guys entering the Capitol building? That's a crime.
But we didn't tell them to. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Well, again, are these informants, snitches, right, that are operating under their own autonomy as people who have infiltrated these, like they're people part of these, let's just say far-right organizations who are getting the information back to the FBI. They're spying on these organizations, hypothetically. And so these informants are going in, or are these FBI agents? Because if these are FBI agents, that's crazy.
There's 26, but 3 of them were tasked to be there.
And one out of the 3, but you could be an informant and be tasked there, not necessarily be an FBI agent.
That's true, but I feel like if you're an informant, you don't necessarily...
Can you Google that term real quick?
Yes, a confidential human resource.
Can you fix that?
Also known as an informant, can be paid by the government for providing information or performing actions related to investigations.
But are they an FBI agent?
So I don't think they're technically FBI agents, but they're on payroll.
So they're definitely on payroll, but we don't know if they're FBI agents or not.
Yeah.
Google, are they an FBI agent?
Okay.
Confidential sources are different from full-time trained undercover agents. Okay, so they're not undercover agents. These are informants. So there is a difference.
Okay.
One FBI field office tasked a CHH to travel to D.C. to report on the activities of a predicated domestic terrorism subject who was separately planning to travel to D.C. for the January 6th electoral certificate. What? What? This is crazy. This is crazy. This is a mess. This whole thing is a mess. Because at the very least, it makes the FBI look crazy.
Yeah, so they were tasked a CHS to travel to D.C. to report on the activities of a predicated who was separately planning to travel to D.C.
Meaning that this dude was already going to be there.
They knew
he
something
was
was gonna
already
go down.
Yeah, he was already in these circles. He's an informant because he's in these circles getting information back to the FBI. And he is then also tasked to go there. So they probably covered some of his expenses to spy on these people that he's a part of.
And go along with it.
And then go along with it. And so the question is there evidence that these folks incited some of the violence?
Yeah.
Is there a question? I mean, they're already saying some of these folks went in, but this makes the FBI look super sus.
Were they told that, hey, if you can get really, like, if we're already really close, but we need the last bit of evidence to arrest these people,
Yeah.
incite them so that they go and
Potentially.
do the final thing. You know, like,
Yeah.
like what other orders behind the scenes, maybe off the record, were they given?
Yep. Horowitz stressed that no sources were encouraged or authorized by the FBI to enter the Capitol or any restricted areas, and stressed that they were not encouraged or authorized to commit any illegal acts. 23 of the confidential human sources present on January 6th came to Washington, D.C. on the Capitol on their own. Okay. Of that group, 3 entered the Capitol during the riot, and an additional 11 sources entered the restricted area around the Capitol. But Horowitz said investigation found no evidence in the materials we reviewed or the testimony we received showing or suggesting that the FBI had undercover employees in the various protest crowds. As for reimbursements to confidential human sources, Howard stated that at least one was reimbursed for their travel. Oh my gosh.
It's not nothing.
That CHH was only tasked with attending the inauguration and not the electoral certification on January 6th. The FBI reacted to Howard's report Thursday, said the Bureau did not have primary responsibility for intelligence collection or even security on January 6th, but nonetheless recognized the potential for violence and took significant and appropriate steps to prepare for this supporting role. Wow. The FBI said it accepts Horowitz's recommendation moving forward, specifically for the FBI to assess the process and procedures it uses to prepare for events that it determines present domestic security threats, but have not been designated to ensure that its processes and procedures set forth with clarity, divisions of responsibility between and within it. Yeah. So if they were there to mitigate something violent happening, that failed. If they were there to just get information back, that failed because you weren't able to mitigate anything happening.
Hello.
This is just a massive L for the FBI, and it's not the first one they've caught. They've caught multiple L's recently.
It's not the first.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please be sure to comment below and subscribe and all that good stuff. And check out this other video that YouTube seems to be recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.